Hey out there, this is Buzz with the Survival Buzz. So I haven't been on it in a while, and I guess, well, you can definitely call me Buzz now. I guess it was a time for a change. Lots of changes going on over here. I know I haven't made a video in, well, over a week now, and there for a while I was doing it every other day, it seemed like, but I've been busy. A lot of you know, if you watched all of my past videos, I was working for a juvenile detention center. Well, my company lost that contract, so now I'm working just wherever I can, as well as doing my armed security schooling, trying to get my license. I'm about done with that, so lots of changes going on. I felt like maybe it was a time for a new change up here as well. So today's topic, we're talking about the Great World Reset, right? We all hear about the Great Reset constantly, and I have just a different outlook on it. I've been just dabbling, doing some reading in different areas, and the focus is on technology. You know, everybody wants to talk about the Great Reset and the powers that be wanting to bring a new world currency and all this and that. Well, I feel like there's some technology issues and things going on in the world right now that maybe get pushed to the side because it's not real common ground or whatever. But the truth of the matter is, technology is on the rise. And with the Great Reset, everything's just kind of converging and coming together, it seems like. You know, with food shortages and war and everything else, I feel like pulling our attention away. There's several areas I feel like are important that people should be looking at. Now, I'm a God-fearing man, so some of these topics really hit home for me. Maybe not so much for people that don't believe, don't believe in God or agnostic or whatever. All are welcome here, but I'm not going to hide my faith from anybody, right? So I'm sure a lot of you have heard of things like Neuralink. It's the Elon Musk thing, basically, attaching things to your brain and being able to do things mentally, basically. Well, there's all these new technologies like this on the rise. That's just one of them. I read in Sweden now, they roughly say over 10,000 people now that have an actual, chip under the skin, those little things that have been around for years that are like the size of a rice grain, right? Well, now in Sweden, there's over 10,000 people roughly. They don't have a registry for that sort of thing, so they're just kind of guessing at this point, I guess. But yeah, over 10,000 people there now have something in, I guess, their left hand. Now, whether they're doing that just to make it seem like, well, it's not the Bible, the right hand or whatever, I'm not sure about that. But and if you really understand everything that's going on in the world, it's like I said, all converging at some great rate right now. So along with my theory on the whole Great Reset is not just a new world currency or a new world government or all the countries conjoining, I mean, honestly, I feel like with the war and everything going on, with China, with Russia, everything going on in the world right now, I feel like, yes, there is a Great Reset. Yes, there is an NWO. And yes, there will be one world governance. But I feel like right now maybe is the point that a lot of people are fighting for that. Russia wants to be the new superpower. China wants to be the new superpower. And, of course, the United States want to stay the superpower. And we're slowly falling behind, right? We're more concerned with leftist agendas and liberalism and green initiatives and transgenderism. Everything you could imagine is on top of it all, as opposed to the things that we should really be worried about, right? All around the world, the militaries are building up around us to the point that we're just kind of falling behind, I feel like. But that goes into what I'm saying with the technology. I honestly believe good and evil are on the horizon here. I don't think this is all coincidence. I don't think all these lines are converging for no reason. When you take all these new technologies and things, and it's just kind of either accepted or denied by people, I mean, there is a vast majority of people that honestly feel like these implants and things are a good thing. And I am not one of those people, let me tell you. I'm not tech savvy whatsoever. I'm not totally opposed to technology. Technology does some great things for us. It truly does. But at the end of the day, anything good can be used badly, can be used for not good, for evil, right? Well, that's where we're headed, this new world currency thing. And we've slowly been eased into this over the years. I used to read about this sort of thing a decade ago, and it wasn't that big of a thing. It was a technology on the rise. You know, they said, oh, it's years down the line. Well, people, we are here, right? And these technologies are getting better and better by the day with all the algorithms and the advancements and, you know, software and hardware and everything else. We've reached that point, and we're very close. So along with this new world currency, I honestly believe that they're going to incorporate a lot of this new tech. We've slowly been the frog in the boiling pot over the years to where, you know, we got introduced to credit cards. And then we had the credit card with the chip. Now we have the card you just hold up, right? Well, obviously the next big step would be to have no card at all, right? Just something in your hand or whatever that you just scan. I mean, it's already been done in other countries, like I talked about with Sweden. And then there's all this facial recognition all over the world. Tech is just really piling up on us. And Big Brother is just right there along with them. And like I've said in my past videos, if you think you're going to get away from all of this, you are sadly mistaken. There is nowhere on this planet that you can hide from this. Which brings to the topic, everybody should be preparing for this, because it is just snowballing into this huge thing, right? Something that used to, you know, 10 years ago seemed to be like something way off in the distance that would happen, you know, not in our lifetime, is here right now. And they've slowly eased us into this. And there will come a point, mark my words, there will come a point where if you don't have this big tech, you're not going to be able to eat at the end of the day. You know, I've read several articles on all this fake meat and stuff. There are university, like cafeterias and things that used to offer, you know, 2 meats and 1 meat alternative in their cafeteria. Now it's the opposite. 2 meat alternatives and 1 meat. Well, just changing that whole aspect of it has really drawn more people into it. You know, before, I'm just spitballing here, but from what I read in the article, it was roughly 30-40% of people would choose the alternative to meat. Well, now it's pretty much doubled. It's pretty much doubled. You know, you give more meat alternative options, and that's the option people are going to go with, especially when you consider price. Well, my next question on that is, well, what is all this fake meat made of, right? Grains, soy, things like that, things that are in high demand right now that we can't seem to even stay on top of, right? To feed animals, to feed us meat. So how are we expected to eat all this fake meat with products that we don't even have, basically? So that's why it's super important, and I know you guys get sick of hearing it, but you have to become as self-sufficient as possible. Like I said, there's no way you're going to make it out of this system. There is just no way. It doesn't matter the amount of money you have. It doesn't matter the amount of arsenal you have, how smart you are. You're not going to get away from all this. But the more reliant you are on yourself and the less reliant you are on the government, the better off you're going to be. I don't want to seem like some conspiracist constantly talking about the gov coming after you, but they are people. And right now, all it is just a battle between the govs to who's going to be in charge of this whole thing. So you have to become more self-sufficient. I feel like a broken record here, but I don't feel like enough people are listening. Time is definitely of the essence right now. Yes, you should be stocking food, but you should be finding ways to come up with alternatives to make your own food. Because that option is not always going to be there, especially if you're a meat eater. I don't know about you, but I'm not eating any fake meat. I'm not eating any bug burgers, nothing like that. You know, at the very least, you should have chickens. And I know the argument comes into effect that you live in a neighborhood or this or that. Well, a lot of neighborhoods allow it, right? You have 6 hens, you have 3 to 6 eggs a day. You have a meat source if you need it. You can buy incubators and have an endless supply of this stuff. These are things you have to think about now, and I'm not just fear-mongering here. This is all here right now. And people really need to pay attention. All our attention is drawn in other areas with the war and, oh my God, food shortages and this and that. Yes, that is all important, and yes, that is all here. But you need to look at the bigger picture. Big Gov is coming in to take over. And you think it's scary now. You think, well, there's supply shortages or trucking issues or this or that. You wait till the government has something implanted in you, and you rely on that for your food. You rely on that to go to the store. They can come in at any time and take every dime, every cent that you own. They can shut you off from the world if they don't like what you're saying. And I'm pretty sure they wouldn't like what I'm saying. You know, I'm nobody. I don't claim to be anybody. I don't think the feds are going to be breaking my door down tomorrow. But let me tell you, it's going to get worse and worse. With more algorithms and technology coming out, people like me are going to be shut down. It doesn't matter how many subscribers you have, how many people watching you, we're all going to be shut down at some point. Especially when you're made to take a mark or whatever. I, for one, am not taking that. I don't care if I'm imprisoned. I don't care if I'm executed. Myself, I am not taking that, and my children are not taking that if it's up to me. You'll have to kill me first. But that is the world we're headed into. And if you just want to focus all your attention on the war and everything else, you're missing out on a great opportunity to build up your preps, your survival, your crops, your livestock, things like that. You're going to need these things. And I am no expert by no means. I've only been gardening for a handful of years. And it's slowly a process of learning over and over and over. Every year, you know, process of elimination, what worked, what didn't work. I don't have all the answers. And as I learn along the way, I will give you information, everything I have. But it's up to you to get out there and gather all this information and learn things. I'm not the know-all, end-all. There are much better channels and videos out there that can tell you what you need to do as far as that goes. I'm just here to warn you. Things are getting crazy, crazier, and crazier by the day. It's not slowing down. It doesn't matter what you think or what I think. This thing is coming like a freight train. I don't mean to be all doom and gloom, and like I said, I'm not trying to fearmonger here, create fear porn, or make you all scared to get views. I have 500 something subscribers, alright? I am definitely not making money on here. I've had a few donations from people, and I greatly appreciate it. It helps me tremendously with the cost of the world around us. But let me tell you, you really need to prepare. Time is running short. And like I always say, it's not just about stacking food. Yes, stack the food. You will have a run on everybody else. But you need to figure out ways to replenish that food, because that option might not be there one day. You know, I just assume one day I'm going to be ran out of my home because I will not comply with all this BS. But I will stick strong as long as I possibly can and fight. And one way to fight is to survive. You're going to be no good to fight if you don't have food in your belly. So the only way that you're going to stay remotely outside this system and not just give in to the whole beast system is to prepare. Prepare like you've never prepared before. Learn everything you can possibly learn. I'm not completely self-reliant on it here. I don't just eat the chickens I raise. I don't just eat the stuff I garden with. You know, I buy things at the store as well. But I'm sure you've noticed as well as I have how much stuff is going up. I can't even walk into a store without spending $20, $30. And I walk out with nothing. And it's only going to get worse from here. All it takes is to read a few articles, a few crop reports, things going on throughout the world with the governments and the sanctions and transportation and everything else to realize things are getting really bad. But you throw the whole tech aspect into it, and Big Gov coming in to take over, and you have a social credit score and everything else, now is the time to prepare. Now is the time. If you're not doing this and you're just on here recreationally watching videos to be scared, stop. Prepare before you don't have the chance to prepare anymore. Now, as always, like this video and subscribe if you like what you hear, and I will catch you guys on the flip side. Later.